grass type Pokemon tier list because I need to do this for every type of Pokemon. And I have yet to do it for grass because I haven't done one of these in like over a year because I haven't really been playing Pokemon very much, haven't really been in the mood. But I did play Black 2 and the new one, so I'm a little more in the mood now to where I feel like I can do this again, right? I'm in a Pokemon mood. I would play another one. I don't really have anything else. Like, once I get my 3DS recordable and stuff, probably going to do some Pokemons on there. Anyway, so starting out, we got Bulbasaur. I do believe that this is a Pokemon you have to try really hard to dislike. I actually do think the grass line is my favorite of Gen 1. Wasn't always the case. Used to be a Charizard-er. But I do like Bulb line the most now. As far as Bulbasaur himself, I would actually probably put him in B. He's a nice looking guy. I do like the whole like Venusaur is like a frog dinosaur plant. I think it's kind of freaking crazy. Hard to get better than that. Hard to make a better Pokemon than that. Ivysaur. Okay, so like Ivysaur is like pretty much up there with Bulbasaur. Like maybe I like Ivysaur slightly more, but pretty much pretty similar. Good second form, I would say. Like a lot of second forms, that's when they start falling off. Like you got the first form, it's pretty good, and then second form looks like shit. That's what they're like nowadays. Obviously, they didn't screw up with Ivysaur. Venusaur is going to be an A for me. Such an iconic Pokemon. He's awesome. I especially like in Let's Go Pikachu. He hops like a frog. That's kind of funny. But yeah, definitely my favorite starter of Gen 1, I would say. Mega Pokemon, a lot of times for me, they're a little too extra, right? Mega Venusaur, that's not the case. I do think he's very similar. Like, it's a good Mega Evolution. And it's almost like they could do more. I'm not saying they should, because I think they go too far with these a lot of the time. He's pretty much like up there with Venusaur. He's like the same to me, right? He's like it's like the same thing. Like look at him. Now this thing. This is extra. Okay, this is a little bit extra. I'm not gonna say it's totally bad or anything, but yeah, I mean, do I have to say anything here? Does anyone actually like this one? Does anyone actually like this freaking thing? Jeez, whatever. It could be. The thing is, it could be worse, right? So, like, here's the thing: Venusaur is already a great design, so you have to like try really hard to fuck it up if you're making another variation. So, like, they did slightly fuck up, but it's not. Could be worse. Whatever. I guess like that's the best I can say about it. Could be worse. I do think, you know, they shouldn't be really given any credit because Venusaur is already a good design, but whatever. Oddish. Yeah, Oddish is a good poke. Blue guy with some grass hair. I mean, like, look at his funny feet. Funny face. He's funny as hell, dude. Gloom might be up there for me. Because, you know, they're just fucked up. They're fucked up looking Pokemon, and I think that's awesome. Okay. So, not as good. Well, I'll put them up there. Like, it is just like Oddish with a mushroom instead, pretty much, and some arms. It's kind of funny how that works. Like, they grow arms here, right? And then, why are they like this again? I mean, there's some lore that I don't know about. Like, they have the same face as Oddish, and then they have the same body as Gloom, and then they just have a mushroom now. Whatever, I think it's a pretty good poke. Parasite. Paris. Why did I say Parasite? Okay, so this is also a good Pokemon. I really like him. How hard to say why. He's just funny looking. He's got the two little mushrooms, funny eyes, little crab guy, disturbing slightly. Like you wouldn't want to mess with this guy if you saw him. I think he's a good poke. I will put him probably. Is that too high? No, I don't think it's too high. Parasect. So this one actually has good lore. Like the mushroom is the brain here. It's actually completely taken over the body. It's disturbing, I guess. Like I would have to try and remember the lore, but it's good lore. It's disturbing. He's cool looking. I guess he doesn't really have eyes. His eyes are just completely white now. I mean, would I put him in A? I mean, I don't think he's necessarily better than Paris. Anyway, Bellsprout. So standard Bellsprout is pretty good. Hard to go wrong with this guy. Now his second form, well, you already know. You already know what people say about this. You already know what they want to do with this. So, I mean, it's kind of like, just looks like a pear, sort of, with mouth. I'm actually not a big fan of it. I do think it's goofy, which I do like goofy Pokemon, but it's also just far worse than first and third form for me. So I'm gonna have to put it down there. It's not terrible, but I do think it's clearly worse than the other dudes. Now, Victory Bell, one of my favorite grass type designs. Just an awesome Pokemon. Look at this thing. How do you not like this thing? That's my question. How do you not like them? I actually need answers because I don't really see how you can't. Eggs. I mean, this is genius, right? So there's eggs with eyes. Some of them, they got different personalities. This one's just like done with life. This guy, he's freaking smug. This guy's dead. Genius Pokemon. Let's put him. Yeah, let's put him up there. One of the best Pokemons ever made. Could even put him higher, but I do like Exeggutor even more. Really, like, you go from eggs to a palm tree. What is up with that? With legs now. There's only 3 of them. Not all of them survived. I think there might be 4, but I'm going to say there's 3. There might be one on the back. There might be only 3, I think, though. But yeah, I mean, it's a good Pokemon. Like, how do you make a better palm tree Pokemon than this? Well, you could arguably say that this is a better palm tree Pokemon. He's really goofy. He's a little bit extra. He's also dragon, right? I think he's dragon. It's a bit weird. Normally, I'd say he's extra, but he's so ridiculous. I just can't help but like him, I actually did use him in my Sun and Moon. He probably shouldn't get that much credit from me, but I'm feeling nice about it because like this is already a good design. They didn't really change much. Give him a tail, give him a long neck. Other than that, they didn't actually change much at all. So I don't really think it deserves that much credit. But whatever. I mean, if you're making it an Alolan Exeggutor, right? It's tropical. This guy's already a palm tree, but if you want to make him, look like a real palm tree, this is how you do it, I guess. And he's dragon. That's why he has a tail. It's just weird, dude. So weird. Tangela. So this is kind of interesting because it's like you find this guy in Pallet Town. Obviously, he's in the other games, but like you find him in this little patch of grass behind Pallet Town that you can't access early. Makes him sort of an elusive Pokemon, right? That's the only like new Pokemon you could possibly find there. And that's the only part of the entire game you can find him. He's elusive, but he, like, would you actually use this guy? Probably not in Gen 1 at least, but I do like his design. I don't think I can put him quite up there. Although this one is a little too much. but not terrible. I actually like using this Pokemon, but I do think Tangela's design is a bit better. But if you're making a second form of Tangela, what else are you gonna do but make him bigger, give him some arms, or whatever? Actually makes him a usable Pokemon now. Chikorita. Let's see. My first Gen 2 starter, but I wouldn't say it's my favorite. I'd probably say Cyndaquil is my favorite nowadays. But Chikorita's a good Pokemon. Not my favorite of this line. Put him in C. Bayleef, I can put in the A. You know, maybe that anime has something to do with that. Meganium. I don't know. Not as good as Bayleef to me. Not as good for me. Maybe it's because, you know what? I can't reveal too much about what I think about Bayleef, but anyway. Better Oddish evolution. Never really used it, I don't think, but really awesome Pokemon. Kind of weird that, so like these Pokemon look very similar to each other, and then you got this thing. Like, what happened here? Like, how does that even happen? Nah, I'm sorry, I don't like this line, so we're gonna have to do E. We're gonna have to do that. I'm sorry. This one's really boring to me. Whatever. This is like Sunflower Seed. Really doesn't deserve much credit at all. This is a sunflower, derpy, funny sunflower, but I mean, kind of bland to me. But yeah, goofy sunflower could be worse. Celebi, I actually really like Celebi. One of my perhaps favorite legendaries. Kind of impossible to catch in these games, unless you got like the 3DS version. Actually, I might put Celebi up here, if I'm being honest. Do you think it's a good legendary? Trico! Yeah, I like Trico's first form a lot. I like all the Gen 3 starters, I think they're all great. The only one that I can't really decide which line is my favorite. The only generation I don't have a favorite. So they did a really good job with Gen 3 actually. Grovyle will be an S. Yes, that has to do with Mystery Dungeon, so if Mystery Dungeon didn't exist, perhaps he would not be so high. Because I don't actually like his design that much. But gotta respect Mystery Dungeon and Grovyle's involvement. Sceptile, pretty good Pokemon. Where would I put him though? This guy's a little extra, so I'll put him there. I do think I like Trico a bit better than Sceptile. Sceptile has a good portrayal in the anime. He's very cool in the anime. But I do like the other two more. Lotad, I mean, you know, like Lilypad Pokemon, funny guy. Let's put him up there. He's not too bad. Like he turns into something better. This is like this is like a Capo Sombrero Pokemon, which is actually really funny. This guy, I'll actually put him. Does he deserve to be there? Does he deserve? You know, I will put him there. I'll put him there. I will. I'm not even gonna second guess myself. Now Ludicolo, easy S. Do I have to say anything about Ludicolo? Do I look at this guy? Do I actually have to say why he's an S? One of the most genius Pokemon ever invented. So, what else can I say besides that? And all you have to do is look at him to realize that for yourself. C-Dot, not bad, not great. Dude uses Bite a lot. This guy, Nuzleaf. He's like Pinocchio, I just realized. He was probably always supposed to be like Pinocchio or something. Yeah, I'll leave him there. Shiftry is actually one of my favorite grass Pokemon. He's like an edgy ninja Pinocchio guy. White hair for some reason. Why does he have white hair? I don't know why, but I think he's kind of weak. I just probably haven't used him since I was like freaking a child, so I didn't know how to use him correctly. I remember him just being really weak, but I need to use him again. You see, I don't use him because I always just use this guy. But as far as design, I actually really like his design. Shiftry, I don't think the 3D model is actually doing him any justice here. I think he looks cooler as a sprite. I will leave him there. I'll leave him here though. I mean, certainly serviceable. This one's a little cooler because like a dinosaur mushroom dude. Like, what is that, dude? Like, what is this? It's funny. It's actually pretty cool. Fighting grass, pretty weird. Definitely a pretty popular Pokemon. Like, probably pretty seen as a good Pokemon, I would say. Like, people think it's good to use, maybe in like Battle Frontier potentially. Roselia. I like Roselia. Not an A. Not as good as A. Definitely gonna leave them there though. Cacnea. No, Cacnea is a good design. Cacnea is a good design. I might even put him in A, to be honest. I do think his second form is a little bit cooler, but his first form is really really good as well. Look at this guy. He's got like a little crown. What happened to his crown? Now he's a scarecrow. He turns into a cactus scarecrow. Pretty weird. But yeah, really good line with this one. I don't remember if there's a third one. Like, did they make a third? Not like a third form, but like a second thing for Cacturn? Did they ever do that? Guess not. Okay, we got this fossil Pokemon. Not one that I'm particularly crazy about. I don't really care about this fossil Pokemon. He's not terrible, but not really gonna put him that high either. This one's a little funny, so he gets a C. Pretty trash Pokemon. Like, doesn't deserve to be called. Like, why is it a dinosaur? What the fuck, dude? It's like freaking flying grass. Like, what even is this thing? It's not even good. Like, you look at this thing, he's like, oh, he's pretty strong. No, he's not strong. So if he was stronger, might even put him a little bit higher. Turtwig, I do like this line. This one's... I don't really like this one as much. But Turtwig himself, probably a B. This one gets a D from me. Like, that's the best I can do. Unappealing. It's like another grass dinosaur, so this is kind of like a ripoff of Venusaur. But we get a little tree on top this time. Instead of whatever this is. I mean, obviously Venusaur is more cool. I don't even know if Torterra deserves to be this high. I'll leave him. I'll leave him this high though. He might not deserve it. He actually might not. He's actually not very original, is he? I mean, he's like more obviously a tortoise than a frog dinosaur, but he's also kind of a dinosaur. I'll actually leave him up there. I mean, he's got a freaking tree, so not everyone has a tree on their shell back. Roserade, I used to think this one was really cool. I'll put him in B, I guess. Not a huge Roserade fan these days. This one's a little bit pointless for me. Put him in F. Also gonna probably have to put you here. I don't like this one. I mean, could be. I mean, it's got two faces, two different personalities. This one, eggplant Pokemon. Well, eggplants aren't the worst, I guess. You know, eggplants are highly present in video games, especially Nintendo games. On NES, you got Ice Climber, you got Kid Icarus. There's definitely way more obscure games that you've utilized the eggplant. Now they're putting them into Pokemon, but I've seen better. I've seen better eggplants in video games. So this thing, meh, meh. How do you go from whatever? Ooh. Yeah, I do like this one. Almost want to put him in S, but not quite there. I can't remember if I used him in my Brilliant Diamond playthrough. Whoa. I think I might have used him. But whatever. But yeah, I might use this guy again one day because I do really like his design. Like, imagine getting eaten by this guy. It would be probably not the best experience, so that's why he has to be an A. Abomasnow. Snorunt. Wait, that's not Snow. Wait a sec. Yeah, what's this thing called? Snover. Sorry. Snover Abomasnow. Abomasnow is pretty cool. I'll put him in freaking B. And I'll put Snorunt in C. This one is a little bit extra, but not that bad. Kind of pointless. It's just meh. It's just Abomasnow, slightly different. Got that stuff in the back, I guess. Whatever. Leafeon. Not really one of my like freaking evolutions I care about the least. I don't know. Why is that? Probably my least favorite evolution. So when you consider this my least favorite, you got to put it in C because it doesn't really deserve that much credit. But I can't say they did a bad job. I just don't really think you could have made a great design with a grass evolution. For me personally, I don't know, man. So we got a freaking vacuum. And everyone's a huge Rotom fan. Why is this thing grass type? I know everyone's a huge Rotom fan. Put him in F. I didn't expect to see this guy in a grass type tier list. Where's the grass? Where's the vegetation? It's a freaking vacuum. How do you make a freaking vacuum grass Pokemon? What is grass electric? Jesus, look it up. Oh, it's not a vacuum freaking Rotom. What is this one? About lawnmower. Jesus. So there is a vacuum one. Or is that not official? Is that not official? Vacuum form? There is a vacuum form. Lawnmower. My bad, dude. It's a lawnmower. That makes way more sense. Well, when you consider it's a lawnmower, I have to move it from F to freaking E. Sorry for the freaking lawnmower fans that were trying to correct me. But that makes slightly more sense, so I'm going to put in E. Still think it's stupid. We got a little hedgehog legendary grass Pokemon. Really elusive. Pretty cute Pokemon. This one, not as awesome. This one, I'll put in A minimum. Actually, yeah, I'll put him in A. It's like pretty, like, it's funny because this is a legendary Pokemon. It's a little hamster. So, yeah. This one I don't like as much. Kind of lost the appeal with this one for me. Snivy is a good first form, but the guy falls off. Let's say that. Let's just say that much. He freaking falls off, okay? So, I hate this. Yeah, the only freaking starter I like from this gen is Tepig. ones suck, in my opinion. Grass monkey, I mean, whatever, dude. Like, whatever. Yeah. Put that one in C because pretty endearing fellow. This one's pretty trash. Pretty trash for me. Yeah, this one's freaking trash as well. Okay. This one's pretty trash, I'm not even gonna lie. It's hard to make grass types worse than these. I'm sort of surprised we got multiple trash ones in a row. This one is obviously a bit better. So, put him in C. Not the best cactus Pokemon we've had. Obviously, this line is much better, but give him a C. Now we got some really fucking dumb deer that are just different colored. Right? So like these are technically 4 different Pokemon. That's, hold up, what is it? Yep, we got Deerling. So yeah, different forms. So not different Pokemon, but they did put them on here 4 times. Whatever. This one, they'll get Shadow Realm for me. Sakura one. Alright, Sakura trees. This one's like not bad, but also sort of uninspired in my opinion. Yeah, let's get through those. Not sure who thought this, like, I mean, whatever. It's a freaking Pokeball mushroom guy. I mean, could be worse. Like, he's pretty funny looking, so he gets a C. This guy, Among Us. You know, I don't hate him, but I would never use him. I don't think his design is bad, but, like, really, I don't really... Like, how can this thing exist naturally in the wild is my question. Just like a mushroom that happens to look like a Pokeball. Like maybe, you know, there's definitely lore here, right? So I'm not going to pretend like I know everything about this Pokemon. Like it probably adapted through like tricking people and killing them by, you know, they see a Pokeball, they go up, and then he kills them, eats their body. So that's probably how they've adapted and lived for who knows how long. So I guess that explains the lore. Otherwise, not really that interesting for me personally. Forseed or something. Forseed. I have to make sure I get some of these names right. Because Ferroseed. It's fucking Ferroseed, not Forseed. I do like his, this one. I don't have too much attachment to him, but I'll put him in B at least. This one is not so interesting. So I actually used this thing on my freaking playthrough of Black 2. And I caught it in like 2 balls or 3 balls on accident. I didn't even want it on my team. I think it's one of the stupidest legendaries I've ever seen in my life. Freaking used it as like an HMer. And just to tank hits for us, to take hits. Probably got 0 experience in that playthrough. One thing I don't like about Black 2 is they just throw 3... Like, legendaries are supposed to be elusive Pokemon, right? First Pokemon game, you gotta go out of your way to find freaking Zapdos and Articuno. They've got their whole, like, freaking places, right? Ice Cavern, Power Plant. Moltres is just in Victory Road, but they do fix that in Fire Red Leaf Green. So... That's the thing about those are completely optional areas, right? And they don't even you can go through the whole game. You don't have to see them at all. They throw these freaking legendaries at you in Black 2, right? They just throw them one by one. What's the point, dude? What's the point? Not like trash design also. One of the worst legendary designs. I just can't believe how they handled legendaries in that game. You know, legendaries used to be so elusive. Had to go out of their how they're like freaking. They used to be sort of there was this mystique to them. Now they just throw them at you. Well, not in. Well, just in that game in particular. Kind of forget what they do in some of the other games that are after that. Don't really think they throw them at you necessarily. You know, you're sort of forced to use one in Violet, I guess. But barely counts as its own Pokemon, I guess. Really, just hate the legend. This trio of legendaries in Black and White, just trash, garbage, horrible. So this guy's not too bad, but then he gets bad. All right, he freaking gets bad. Okay. Might be my least favorite line in history. Maybe not. Probably is, actually. Alright, so I use this guy in my X and Y. Not terrible, I guess. Sort of whatever. Goat. Little goat grass man. Good design here. Probably put this guy. You know what? I might even put this guy in A. Is that too high? No, I think he fits in. Like he's a good little creepy Halloween tree Pokemon guy. And just like I don't really have any negative things to say. I might even like think more highly of him if I actually ever used him in my life. Like this one's fine as well. This one's pretty good. So I used this pumpkin in X and Y actually. I mean, I do like these sort of Halloween jack-o'-lantern themed Pokemon ideas. Don't really like this thing. It has like two faces technically. It's got freaking weird hair, but I mean, like it's all right. I guess ghost grass, pretty interesting combo. Not very common at all. Okay, so I've never used Decidueye. I will one day, obviously, because there's 4 different versions of these games, and I like to play every version of every Pokemon game if I can. And I like to use their different starters if possible. Decidueye. Yeah, Decidueye's good. I'm sorry. Put him in the A. It's a cool owl archer guy. Maybe I'm overrating him. I used Incineroar in this game. It was a big mistake because I didn't know that cat would turn into that thing. I should have gone with this guy, is the truth. I do not like Incineroar very much. This guy's like little bow tie. Oh, look at his little tie. I don't know why I said bow tie, but yeah, the least appealing, but actually a friendly owl guy. Like this guy's edgy owl guy. This guy's like friendly owl guy. This guy's cute owl guy. So yeah, pretty good. All right, we need to correct some of these Pokemon. This guy gets an F from me. This is a freaking grass Pokemon? Are you serious? It's not like is it grass insect? What is it? What the fuck? It's like a mantis? Like it looks like a mantis? I don't know. Yeah. Well. Yeah, probably people have some things to say about this Pokemon. I'm just gonna have to put them directly in the Shadow Realm. Anchor. Okay. Sorta weird. Look, dude, I didn't play Ultra Sun and Moon. Like this shit, like some of this shit must be from there. Might have to play it. This thing. How is this a grass Pokemon? whatever, it looks slightly interesting. So if I have a better understanding of that Pokemon one day, we'll see. What the hell is this thing? First of all, I didn't play like the Sword and Shield DLC. Is that where this comes from? I played through a lot of Sword and Shield. Does this thing really have a Gigantamax form that's like that? Or is this added? Does this thing really have that going on? When did they add that? Introduced in the Isle of Armor. Okay, so I didn't play the DLC because of frickin' ripoff. Right, I caught every Pokemon in the base game for Sword and Shield, and then they started to, like, first of all, Game Freak's been ripping people off for a long time. That's why I didn't get Sun and Moon, because it was an obvious ripoff, or Ultra Sun and Moon, I should say. And then this is the most egregious, blatant ripoff. It's Sword and Shield DLC because they didn't have content in the base game. And then you're made, like, you gotta freaking pay however much. Like, there's 2 different DLCs. You gotta both pay for those. You gotta pay for both of those just to have the content of like a normal Pokemon game. However much content is in that, like probably not that much. It's a freaking joke. That's my rant. This thing can go. This thing can go here. Grook is a good Pokemon. Funny monkey man. Kind of gets to be slightly a bit weird eventually. He gets a little bit weird. Maybe I should put this guy higher. Nah, I mean, I wouldn't say he's better than Bulbasaur. No, this guy, I'm not a huge fan of this, like, design. Like, just looking at this model makes me sad. But, you know, when he starts playing his drums, like, he's pretty funny then. So I can't put him that low. He looks cooler with his drums and when he's playing them. So I do think it's a disappointing third form. But I can't put him down here at all. That would be... No, just can't do that. This thing can go in the frickin' F, I guess. Like, shit, dude. Like, obviously he's got the drums again, but the fact that it's a Sword and Shield DLC thing, I mean, it's just automatic F, pretty much. Don't care. Don't care. Don't care. Apple. Yeah, funny apple. This thing's a little bit... Look at this guy. He's freaking flying. Apple. Whatever. Like, it's funny, so I gotta put in B at least. But like, who came up with that? Like, who came up with that? Okay, so this is a little crazy. I'm not feeling too strong about it. I'll put it in C. This guy's funny. He's a funny guy. I don't know if I actually like him that much. So. I don't know that I've ever seen this guy in my life. Could be that he's a Sword and Shield DLC Pokemon, or... Let's look this up. Am I crazy? So what Pokemon... Okay, so let's see. The Crown of Tundra. This thing's from the Crown of Tundra. So, like, here's the thing. I caught every single Pokemon in Sword and Shield. So I've literally seen them all. I got my full Pokédex of the base game, 400 out of 400, right? I played that game way more than it ever deserved to be played. So I'm not going to bother playing the new one, which I actually think is a worse game than Sword and Shield. Not gonna freaking bother with that game because I don't really like it very much. So I already played Sword and Shield way more than it deserved. Yeah, this thing is like this thing is part of the freaking Crown Tundra, and this is the best design you can come up with. This sucks. I mean, this just sucks. Okay. Now this guy, actually, I don't think he sucks. He's alright, but I've never seen him in my life. I don't even know how that's possible. Maybe he should be higher. But I'll leave him there for now. So that's the Grass Pokemon tier list. believe this completely and accurately reflects my actual opinion, you know. I guess Ludicolo really is just next level. Because, you know, Grovyle probably doesn't deserve to be up there when you consider, you know, it's mostly just Mystery Dungeon is why. Probably doesn't deserve to be that high. But Ludicolo is just straight off the Pokemon and its design. He's just next level compared to the rest, I would say. He's next level, so...